All right, let's dive into something that I think every aquarium owner knows all too well. That gap between the stunning, silent ecosystem you dream of and the noisy, high-maintenance reality you often end up with. We're going to unpack that today.
So, does this hit close to home? You absolutely love your fish tank. Or maybe your turtle tank, but that constant hum from all the equipment is just enough to drive you a little nuts. And you're stuck in this endless fight with cloudy water and that weird, oily film that always seems to show up on the surface. It's such a common story, and it's the exact problem we're going to tackle.
You know, our source material actually has a name for this. It calls it the owner's dilemma. And it's that constant battle between the peaceful, beautiful tank you imagined and the noisy, frustrating reality of keeping it all going.
And look, we're not talking about vague problems here, are we? We're talking about that relentless hum from pumps and filters, water that just refuses to stay clear, that gross film on the surface, and, of course, the visual mess of having 4 or 5 different devices all crammed into one tank.
But what if? What if you could just change all of that? This quote from our source really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It paints that perfect picture. A tank that's not just crystal clear and healthy, but is totally, completely silent. It's a powerful idea, and it really flips the script, taking us from the problem to the promise.
So how do we actually get to that dream aquarium? Well, the source material suggests a whole new way of thinking. Instead of trying to juggle a bunch of different pieces of hardware, it introduces this idea of a single, all-in-one solution.
And that's the big idea, right there. The concept is to take all of those essential functions you need for a healthy tank and combine them into one sleek device that just sits quietly under the water. It's really about trading in all that complexity and clutter for simplicity and, frankly, elegance.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how on earth can one device do the work of 4? Well, to get that, we need to pull back the curtain and deconstruct the technology into its 4 key functions.
First up, we've got the absolute heart of the system, the submersible water pump. This is the thing that gets everything moving.
So think of the pump as the engine for the entire ecosystem. Its number one job is to keep that water circulating efficiently. This is so crucial because it prevents any stagnant dead spots where nasty bacteria can build up, and it makes sure oxygen and nutrients get everywhere they need to go.
All right, function number 2. This one is all about getting that crystal clear water we all want. Meet the biosponge filter. And let me tell you, this is about way more than just catching little bits of debris. It's about biological purification.
And the way this works is it's brilliant. First, the sponge physically traps waste particles. But here's where the real magic happens. That sponge becomes a perfect home for a whole colony of good bacteria. These microscopic little allies get to work breaking down invisible toxins like ammonia and nitrites and converting them into stuff that's way less harmful. That is the real secret to a truly healthy tank.
Okay, let's talk about that ugly film that can form on the water's surface. You know what I'm talking about? Well, function number 3 is designed specifically to get rid of it. This is the surface skimmer. The benefits here are they're huge. And it's not just about looks, even though it makes your tank look 1,000 times better. By keeping that surface clear of protein film, it acts like the lungs of your aquarium. It allows for much better gas exchange, letting good oxygen in and waste CO2 out. Plus, it means more light can actually get down to your aquatic plants. It's a win-win-win.
And finally, we have function number 4, which is all about making the environment inside the tank feel more natural and dynamic for your pets. This is the wave maker.
Now, we're not talking about creating a hurricane in your tank here, okay? It's about creating these gentle, subtle currents that mimic what you'd find in a natural stream or a lake. This constant movement prevents those stagnant, low-oxygen zones we talked about, and it provides a much more stimulating world for your fish or turtles, which actually reduces their stress. So, we've looked at all 4 pieces of the puzzle, right? The pump, the filter, the skimmer, and the wave maker. But the real power, according to our source, isn't in the individual parts. It's in the integration. It's how they all work together, in concert, that really creates a thriving ecosystem. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It's the 2 paths you can take. On the left, you've got the old way. 4 separate devices, all making noise, creating clutter, and needing a ton of upkeep. And on the right, the integrated solution. One sleek, silent unit that just simplifies everything. I mean, the choice seems pretty clear, doesn't it? So when you put it all together, what's the big payoff? What do you get for making this kind of upgrade? Well, the source material really highlights the ultimate benefits for both you, the owner, and your pets.
I mean, look at this. This is the dream, right? Your pets are healthier and less stressed out. Your aquarium becomes this beautiful, dynamic centerpiece in your room. Your home is quieter and more peaceful. And maybe the best part of all, you get to spend way less time on maintenance and way more time just enjoying the incredible little world you've created.
So, in the end, when you boil it all down, it all comes back to this one simple number: 4. 4 essential functions all working together in one silent device. That's the key to a thriving aquatic world.
And that kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? As technology gets better and lets us pack more and more function into smaller, quieter, more efficient packages, is this kind of integrated, all-in-one approach the future? Not just for aquariums, but maybe for all the little ecosystems we try to maintain in our homes. It's something to think about.